Good morning, how are we doing? So, today we are talking about how much protein should I have? It's a question I always have because I'm always talking about getting protein in, it's going to help with hunger. This is the question. You always talk about protein, and I know this throughout. Everyone knows what to do already. So, how do I get more protein into my diet and how much should I have? It's a really good question. So, I like to work on this on scales because this has got to be good for living human beings. And what I mean by that, I know it's a weird term, but research is often done in subjects, and subjects are exposed to often conditions which aren't free living. Like subjects might be locked in a room with computers, laptops, iPads, sat around and fed all day. That's not what we're done, although some workplaces maybe are like that. But my point in this is that some studies will be done in rats, mice. So what we've got to look at here is let's look at the human studies, let's look at free living studies that they do, and then let's look at the whole research in this, and let's look at what people actually do, because what people actually do is different to what the research can often say is optimal. So there's a massive difference between optimal and what we're actually going to do here. So let's start with the first line of defense, if you like. That's, can you get protein in every meal, a lean portion of protein in every meal? And I would always say, just use your hand, like hand size for your, just fell down a hole, hand size for your protein portion, thickness is fine. And you know that if that comes from like a lean protein source, whether that's chicken, beef, lamb, like it's lean, pork, eggs, it might be 2 to 3 eggs, Greek yogurt, it could be like 3 tablespoons or so, 4 tablespoons or whatever. It's a rough guide, and it just gives you a guide, gets you thinking, awareness. Am I getting the protein in here? Yes or no? Okay. Now that would be my first one in there. Now, if you're thinking, I'm doing that already, I'm doing that already, and it doesn't really seem hard. I'm not seeing results with that. One, I'd say how long you're doing it for, how consistent are you, are they lean sources? Because what you got to remember, although there's this big thing about we should eat fat, no we shouldn't eat fat, if you're getting good quality, if we're talking about protein here and you want to increase your protein intake, lean choices are better than full fat choices, for the reason that the percentage of protein per calorie you eat or per bite you eat is higher because they've skimmed away the fat and there's just more protein. Now I'm referring to like good natural sources of food like Greek yogurt. There'll be no added sugar to that, it's just simply skimmed away the fat. Animal products, chicken, things like that, whatever. Like the leaner the more protein. I'm not saying you can't have the fattier cuts or anything like that, but you know that if you want to increase your protein per mouthful, if you like, that's going to be a good way to do it. Now, let's now look at the next stage on this. So the next part of this, we'll be looking at, okay, how much does that look in grams, if you like? Now, the research is kind of out there, I could go all day, and I like to get a blend between what you're actually going to do and what's optimal. So if I was to go optimal, I might go as high as 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Now, if you try and eat that today, so 2 grams of protein per kilogram of your body weight, so if you're 100 kilos, that's 200 grams of protein a day, you'll probably go, blimey, this is so much protein. And you'll probably be so full up that you eat nothing else. But anyway, that's the interesting part of it. People often drop out studies when they see this. So when it comes to this side of things, what I would consider and say is that we've got to strike that balance. So I'd go, about 1.2 to 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight. Now, even with that, that's going to be really high. I guarantee it for a lot of people. And that just shows how much we're actually not eating as much protein as we perhaps should do. For longevity, in terms of muscle, for building strength, for recovery from exercise, to also help with cravings. We know that in simple studies, like with no other intervention but just giving people a 35 gram protein shake in the morning, people subconsciously ate less, blood sugar levels more stabilised, insulin resistance better. or insulin sensitivity better rather. Yeah, it's quite a powerful thing to know that we can make one change and have that impact. So that is that in there. So what does that look like per meal? So if you're looking at per meal, because that's the question that goes on. This is the conversation where how it goes on. So then if it's per meal, you want to look at, okay, can we get kind of 20 to 30 grams maybe a meal? That'd be quite optimal of protein. So if that's, say, about 100 to probably about 150 grams of weight of chicken breast will give you about 30 grams of protein or so, just to give you an example. Now I want to touch on the quality of protein with this, because there is a bit of a caveat in that the quality of your protein counts too. Like if you're more vegan sources and they don't contain the amino acids like leucine and amino acids like that, then you're going to have to maybe want to increase your protein intake overall, because leucine is basically the trigger or the key person, if it was a person, key amino acid for triggering muscle protein synthesis, which is an indicator of like muscle and recovery. So you probably want to go down this route first. Okay, so I hope that helps. In that that's kind of covered a bit of a 101 on protein. Any questions on that, do let me know. I have put together like a per 100 gram cheat sheet, if you like, so you can have a look at, what is 100 grams of a product, or whether that's nuts or meat or eggs or yogurt, full fat, zero fat, look like in terms of the protein in each. So the percentage of protein in each product. And why this is good is because you look at all around at the moment and you see all this marketing about high protein, but what is it actually high protein? What is high protein? Because high protein for one might be low for another. This is the interesting part. Like, you look at these cereal bars and they're like 15% protein, 20% protein, they say high protein on. And, to be fair to them, they're higher protein than the older version. But then if you think that's high protein, then you go to like 0% Greek yogurt and it's like 70% protein or 60% protein. Or a chicken breast is like 70, 80%, or a protein shake is like 90%. There's no guidelines to this. So anyway, I hope that helps. I can go on all day on this, and maybe there will be more regulation to come due to this video of me talking to myself on a beach. Maybe, who knows. Anyway, have an awesome day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.